Hello fellow geeks, my name is Bob and welcome to the every single time introduction for citygeek.com presents video short takes. In this continuing series we're looking at the media that we have consumed that we feel we can adequately discuss within the course of a 3-minute time frame. So all these videos will be short and sweet, and thank you for watching this introduction a million times if you're already a subscriber to us. If you're not a subscriber, welcome to the madness. And go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell so you get a notification every time something comes up, like, share, and head on over to citygeek.com to see everything else that we're working on, whether it be longer form reviews, written, and video, our podcast, retrospective, everything that we're working on paranormal wise, all sorts of stuff at citygeek.com. So head on over there and find us on Facebook as well for little bits of news that we put up they don't put on the website. Thank you for tuning in and hope you enjoy whatever video follows this introduction. Rolling Thunder Revue, a Bob Dylan story by Martin Scorsese. Yes, that's the full title of this documentary, is a documentary. Released on Netflix very recently, looking at the 1975-ish tour of the Rolling Thunder Revue, led by who else but Bob Dylan, and other folk rock heroes or counterculture poets and writers of the time as they toured across the country, across the world, to anyone who wanted to come out to smaller venues than they would normally do. I generally like folk rock to a certain degree. I don't really own any Bob Dylan albums. I don't really own any Joni Mitchell, but I do like listening to the music when it's on the radio or here and there. So I'm coming into this, I'm watching it mostly as a Scorsese fan, trying to watch everything that he does. This documentary was fascinating. At 2 hours 20 minutes maybe is a little long, but it's not just looking at Rolling Thunder, but everything around it in the time for culture and folk rock and counterculture. I really like the way that Scorsese put it together, in which mixing interviews from 1975 or around there, modern interviews, and of course presenting full concert pieces. Mixing these all together created a great dynamic of looking at what they're saying at the time and then reflecting back 40 years later to say this is where we're at now. I'm kind of reflecting on this, or what this person said wasn't true. Now I see this and going off. And so it was cool seeing things from both points of view in that case, and then hearing the music that goes along with it. But these stories are still fascinating of listening to these musicians talk about where they're coming from and what they were feeling at the time and where their sources were coming from and how they interacted. I love the stories of I think it was Joni Mitchell talking about how she used to dress up as Bob Dylan and see how long she can keep it going before someone would call her out on it. And usually she did such a good impersonation that she'd say that she'd eventually, guys, it's me, it's Joni. Or even someone like Sharon Stone, who I didn't know was active at all in that period, but she was a new model in the 70s and went on tour with them for a little while, just helping out, doing this and that. I don't think she was a groupie, but it's kind of hinted that she might be. But she was also up and coming, so it was cool to see it from her point of view, instead of just Bob Dylan, who's notorious for being kind of an off-putting interviewee. But he does everything. Yeah, but he is gracious here talking to Scorsese and his interviewers. So if this is something that interests you at all, or just being a Scorsese fan, I would recommend it. So I'll give this a B. It's one of the actually highest rated films on Metacritic right now, like the 10th highest. If this is something that interests you, it's definitely in your wheelhouse. Check that out. If something you have tangentially interest like me, it was still interesting, fascinating, and I always like seeing anything Scorsese does, and I look forward to seeing what comes up later. But always like, comment, subscribe, go to City Geek, see what else we're working on, and we'll see you for the next short takes.